weeks. And the fifth point I want to bring up is that there is a huge brain drain from Canada to the United States and less opportunities as well. So what I mean by that is that a lot of the people who graduated from Canadian universities actually go to the United States because just by going down a few hours south, you can get a 30% increase in your salary. And a lot of my friends who graduated from the same university as me ended up moving to New York or San Francisco to work for big tech companies because you earn way more even if you're working for the same company. I find that there are a lot less opportunities in Canada compared to the United States because there's a lot more companies and startup culture happening in San Francisco and in New York. Comparatively, Canada is not as great of a place to develop your career, which is why a lot of the talented people end up leaving and there is a lack of opportunities and all of the talent end up going to the south of the border. And the last point I want to mention about the downsides of living in Canada is the weather. If you live there for a year or two, you'll realize that it's definitely not great for the weather. If you live in the Pacific West Coast, which is considerably better than all of the rest of the territories, you're still going to get rain for about 9 to 10 months out of the year, and only in June to August you're going to have sunny weather, which is what I prefer. And most of the time I get really affected by the rainy weather. From September to March or April, it's going to be rainy most of the days, so it ends up having a huge impact on my mental health and state of mind. If you want to have good weather, then I don't recommend being in Canada, because even if you decide to live in Toronto, you're going to have a lot of snow and it's going to be really cold, maybe even -30. I think in Calgary last year it was like -30 degrees, and you don't really do much in those weathers. You just kind of stay at home or go to the gym. I also want to bring up another point, which is that if you are a young person, I would not recommend you to go there, move to Canada, because there's just not a lot happening at night or a lot of opportunities to meet other young people. Because even though I've been traveling around the world for a year and a half now, I find that Vancouver is the hardest place for me to make friends.